Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Appreciate you guys for being here. You could be anywhere at 7:30, but you're right here with me. You already know what you need to do. Go ahead and put down an emoji, put down good morning, put down where you're viewing from, all of that good stuff. Why? Again, I don't care how many times I'm going to always say it because some people just don't get it. So what happens when you upset or disrupt the algorithm? It pushes this live a lot higher on your news feed and allow people to begin to chime in or get to know and learn and understand that what we're talking about here at Consistency is Currency. And here we go. Again, thank you. Appreciate you guys for being here. Have a blessed day because this is a day that you had the ability to open your eyes and see another day. I know for me, this daylight savings time has been messing my head up because I'm sitting up early at like 4:30 in the morning, 4:45 in the morning, like, okay, you're supposed to be up. But when you look at the clock, you like, okay, I'm really not supposed to be up. Why? Because it's really only 4. So I'm sure it's not just me. If it's not just me, let me know. Drop that inside the chat. Say, yeah, you're right. It's not you. It's not just you. It's me. It is me as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and go on. As you can see, today we're talking about failure has taught me. So what I want you to do inside the chat itself, what has failure taught you? Put down, you don't have to put all your business out there in the street, but put something down in there just so you can begin to open up and create a dialogue because there may be someone who is watching and someone that may watch on the replay. The things that you put down in what failure has taught you, it may be where they are right now. So you may be able to bless someone just by exposing your truths about what failure has taught you throughout your journey and how you have became a lot stronger after you have dealt with that failure and got over that failure. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. All right, here we go. Which one I want? Yeah, I'll do this one. Yeah, I'll use this view. Kind of like this view. All right, failure has taught me. We got to have these transparent moments. I don't care if the transparent moment is with yourself. I don't care if the transparent moment is with someone else, because what happens when you have transparent moments, it actually allows you to see things for what it really is instead of strive to sugarcoat those things, because the way or when you sugarcoat things, it may still keep you in that particular state of mind because you're not being as blunt or as transparent as possible. So failure. In the dictionary, failure is defined as the lack of success. Now, me personally, I don't like that definition. That's just me. Like if you Google right now the definition of failure, it is going to tell you failure is defined as the lack of success. But the way I see it, and I would love for you to adopt seeing it from this perspective, is if failure is the lack of success, then failure will give you access to success. Again, it is failure is defined as the lack of success, but I am telling you right now, failure will actually give you access to success. So I asked someone the question today, what has failure taught you? I asked 2 people, so I'm gonna give you 2 answers from the 2 individuals. So this individual said the road to success is paved with failure. It is part of the process. Failure lessons has been able to help me shift and change my mindset in order to embrace and welcome change. Unfortunately, failure is inevitable. Failure has been my biggest teacher. It's taught me to go back to the drawing board and add the lessons to my arsenal and execute a different approach. Failure helps me evaluate and measure success. So, how has failure actually allowed you to measure your success? How has your failure allowed you to evaluate and measure your success? Now, I will speak for me. How has failure allowed me to evaluate and measure success, I mean, I like a lot of, KPIs, key performance indicators, and things that you had goals in, and you're looking at those key performance, and it's going to be an indicator to let you know that what you're doing is working. That is an evaluation and measure of your success by developing what your KPIs are. I mean, look it up on Google, type in KPIs, key performance indicators, and those KPIs can be used to evaluate and measure your success, whether you're talking about social media or whatever it is. It allows you to evaluate and measure that as well at the same time. And here we are. Let's go ahead and acceptance. When you are dealing and dwelling in the world of acceptance with your failures, it is the absence of excuses. Accepting the failure and acknowledging the failure will allow you to be absent of excuses, because failure is taking control, is allowing you to, accepting the failure allows you to take control of your now. And because you accept it, you will definitely learn and understand that you are not done yet. Failure did not define you. Do not allow your failures to define you. Lace up your gloves and swing back, because the things that you learn in your fight, just like a boxer. I mean, besides Floyd Mayweather, I mean, some of his matches I'm sure will probably be questionable to some, but he's the only 50-0 boxer right now. But every other boxer outside of George Floyd, outside of Floyd Mayweather, had to deal with defeat. As big or as strong as Muhammad Ali was, he suffered failure. He suffered a defeat. As big as Mike Tyson was, he suffered a defeat. As sweet as Sugar Ray Leonard was, he suffered a defeat. As sweet as Roy Jones was, he suffered a defeat. But those times where they lost that bout, that did not shift them from winning and telling them that, okay, I'm no longer getting back into the ring. That failure of losing did not define them as a boxer. That failure defined them in the moment where they got that belt back, or in the moment where they laced those gloves back on and put themselves in a position and visualizing themselves as winners. They're still winners. They just lost in that particular moment. Acceptance is timing. And I asked somebody else about acceptance, and they said timing causes disappointment in some instances, but accepting the failure and learning from it helps you to sometimes refocus or realize those things weren't meant for you. Now that may be a mouthful for some of y'all, but I'm gonna read that again, and I want y'all to look at it from your perspective. Timing causes disappointment in some instances, but accepting the failure and learning from it helps you sometimes refocus or realize those things weren't meant for you. It didn't mean that you failed. That probably meant that you was in the wrong place. It was probably not for you. Don't get the big head and keep trying to force that square into a circle, and you keep knocking everything down because you're striving to put yourself in that position, and that position was not for you. Realize those things were probably not made for you, and accept those things and stop making excuses on why you're continuing to fail. Again, you have to go back and create evaluations and measure the things that you're doing before you go back into that fight, or before you go back into those lessons that you learned. And I'm going to tell you right now, failure will definitely bring out the lion. Do you agree? Do you agree that failure will bring out the lion? Failure will definitely bring out that lion. Let's go into it. How does failure bring out the lion in you? It will definitely let you know that you are great, and you have to empower you. It lets you know that the thing that you have just dealt with, that you feel that you was not a success in, because remember, The definition of failure is the lack of success. That doesn't mean that it is all wrong, but it is the lack of success that is measured based off of what systems or belief or obligations you have placed on yourself. You have failed for the moment. And that's what I want you to take away from this. Failing in the moment is not failing forever. And you need to understand that you have something that is inside of you that may be birthed, because failure gave you access to success only if you allow yourself to learn those lessons in the moment of failure. You've been trying to find a car, and when you apply for the car, you learn and notice that your credit was not right. What are you going to do then? You're going to go back and find someone that can repair your credit, or you're going to go and learn the process of repairing your credit. It's going to bring the lion out. It's going to allow you to empower you in order for you to reach the goal of getting a car or getting a new car. That's not accepting that no that was for that moment. That is actually looking at the no and allowing the no or the failure therein to empower you to be greater than the no, or to be greater than the failure in that moment. Again, failure will bring out the lion inside of you. A lot of you have lions inside of you that you have yet to bring out, because sometimes you have accepted the failure, but because you have accepted the failure, you didn't put the gloves back on and to rebound from that failure to fight back. You accepted it so much that you did not look at it from the perspective of, I may have failed, I got knocked down, but I am resilient enough to bring out the lion and to bounce back and to come out a lot stronger than what I did when I initially came out. That's bringing out the lion. That's that level of resiliency that you have inside of you to let you know, or to let others know, that I still have fight in me. I have enough fight in me that I am going to let open the cage and let this lion come out, because I am great and I am empowered. Sometimes failure will definitely empower you. It will empower you to the point to where you are no longer afraid of being in certain settings. You are no longer afraid in being around certain groups. You are no longer afraid of going to the library or going to a bookstore because you had a fear of failure because everyone talked about you when you read out loud. That doesn't mean, or didn't mean, that you don't know how to read. You probably didn't read as good, but you may be a powerful speaker. That's looking at it and doing something about it. All right, number 3 is failure has taught me commitment. Definitely, failure has taught me commitment. And what about you? Has failure taught you commitment? Because failure will let you know, it will teach you, or it will even ask you a question. How committed are you to this? How committed are you to the level of success? How committed are you in this task? It's going to expose that you got a lot more work to do. And you're going to have to accept that you have work to do, that you have to be committed, because again, the failure was for the moment. It was not forever. So therefore, you have to be committed to the change. You have to be committed to the chance, because when you're committed to the chance and you have looked at failure in the face and you brought out the lion inside of you, you can be committed to success. Because remember, the definition will tell you failure is the lack of success, but it's really giving you access to success. But are you committed to the access that was given to you? It's definitely going to help you out. It's definitely going to put you in a position to be great. It's definitely going to put you in a position to be empowered. And after you are committed to the success of the access of what failure gave you, you're going to have to go back to the drawing board, and that's where this preparation is going to come from. Pulling out that blueprint. Failure is the blueprint to your success. I ain't gonna lie, failure is not going to feel good, not all the time. Failure is not going to feel good all the time. But what do you do after the failure has taken place? Only you can ask yourself that real question, and only you're going to give yourself an honest answer. Failure is the blueprint to your success. Accept it. Look at it. After you have not, after you've done not so well, prepare yourself for the rebound. Prepare yourself for the outcome. Prepare yourself for the success. Because failure did not take you out. Failure took you in. Failure took you into the place to where you're establishing the blueprint, which gave you access to what you're building next. Failure will prepare you, and failure will expose you too. If you're honest about it, failure will expose the things you're doing not so well. But what are you doing once you have acknowledged those things that you know you need to do better in? All right, so this last one, we're going to close it out. And I want you to remember, failure is just a delay. It is not defeat. Failure is just a delay. Because again, in your preparation, in your commitment, in bringing out the lion, that is a small delay, but it is not a full-fledged defeat, because you have the opportunity to learn those lessons, establish the blueprint, and then begin building from that particular level. And I always want you to remember, 100%, you may have failed for the moment. You may have failed for the moment, but you did not fail forever. And don't let anyone tell you that you're a failure. Don't let anyone take away your level of success. Don't let anyone put you in a position to where you feel that you are not great. Don't let anyone put you in that position, because when you allow someone to put you in that position, you have to look at, this is not my position. I didn't put myself here. You strive to put me here, but I am greater, and I'm going to bring out this lion. Because again, failure is not forever. Failure could be for the moment.